When did David Scott land on the moon? Have you ever wondered about the incredible journey of astronauts during the 1960s? One of the most exciting moments came when David Scott landed on the moon. But when exactly did this historic event take place? Let's take a closer look at the timeline and significance of this mission. David Scott landed on the moon on July 30, 1971, as part of the Apollo 15 mission. This mission was a remarkable achievement in the history of space exploration. Apollo 15 launched from Kennedy Space Center on July 26, 1971, and entered lunar orbit just a few days later on July 29. The lunar module, named Falcon, separated from the command module the following day. David Scott served as the mission commander, while James B. Irwin was the lunar module pilot. As they approached the lunar surface, Scott took control of the Falcon's descent. The computer-guided path was slightly off course, but Scott skillfully adjusted the landing, touching down in the Hadley-Apennine region of the moon. This mission was not just about landing, it was about exploration. Scott and Irwin conducted several moonwalks, which allowed them to gather valuable data and samples. They used the Lunar Roving Vehicle, enabling them to travel much farther from the landing site than previous missions had allowed. One of the highlights of their time on the moon was when Scott performed a unique stand-up extravehicular activity. He poked his head and upper body out of the lunar module's docking port to survey the terrain and capture panoramic photographs. During their exploration, the astronauts collected around 170 pounds of lunar rock and soil samples. One of these rocks was famously named Great Scott by David Scott himself. Apollo 15 marked a significant advancement in the 1960s space exploration era, following the Gemini program in which David Scott had also participated. The mission combined scientific experiments with exploration, deploying the Apollo Lunar Surface Experiments package to gather data even after the astronauts left the moon. The success of Apollo 15 showcased the growing capabilities of NASA during the late 1960s and early 1970s. It captured the spirit of discovery that defined the space race of that decade. So, to answer the question, David Scott landed on the moon on July 30, 1971, commanding Apollo 15, the fourth lunar landing mission. This mission not only extended the scope of lunar exploration, but also contributed to our understanding of the moon, reflecting the excitement and technological progress of the 1960s space era.